There's been a lot said about the Ellis Park test and a lot of analysis about how the Springboks lost, and no Springbok loss is ever a good one, and we always want them to win. We've made a couple of other videos. We did one this morning with Nick Millett on this channel as well, if you want to have a look at that. And we also, Gavin Rich and I did one yesterday from Ellis Park straight after the game at the stadium, and just a hot take there. So there's some analysis there if you want to go have a look. There's also some, one thing I thought that we should talk about is just exactly why the Springboks did lose, and they played way too much rugby. I think everybody can understand that. They didn't use their maul, they didn't use pick and goes. They just kept on spreading the ball wide, and they kept on sort of being seduced by this thing of going wide and wide. And there's been a lot of talk about Tony ball, which is obviously Tony Brown's influence on the squad and the way they want to play a lot more expansively. And on Saturday we saw them go away from their core strengths, and I think we'll probably see them come back to that in Cape Town when they get the chance to play the Wallabies again and obviously give a response. But there's a lot of disappointment after yesterday, probably because it was so unexpected, and so the Wallabies hadn't won there for 60 years, etc. But just here's a couple of stats that are quite interesting here. Just looking at this, the Springboks, and this is stats from Ultimate Rugby I saw on Twitter, which I just thought was quite interesting. The Boks made 50% more passes than any other team. They won half the turnovers of the teams that won this weekend, so Argentina, New Zealand and Australia. They kicked 35% less than the winning teams, and this is from analyst Gus. This is metrics here, I see that. And they were at the lowest 4 tackle and line-out success rate, which is very interesting thing to have, because if you look at these stats as well, look there. I mean, South Africa made 580 meters, more than they beat 22 defenders, 14 clean breaks. It just shows you, made 212 passes. So it just shows you how much rugby they played. 14 offloads. Turnovers one was 3, and New Zealand and Australia both made 6 on the day, and that was crucial. Kicks from hand 18. I did it 19. That was the stat I had. When last did we see a Springbok side only make 19 kicks? Usually around about 30 in the game. Rucks won. They won a lot more rucks. Tackle success rate, that's where it hurt them big time, especially in that second half. 76% tackle success rate. Line-out success rate, which is 69%. That is shoddy. That is really shoddy for them. So they didn't get the platform, and they didn't get to play. But now a lot has been said about Tony Ball and its influence there. And Rassie also agreed afterwards that the Boks played too much. It was part of the press conference, which we know I record a video of, and it was in Afrikaans as well, so I'll try and put some translations up for those who don't understand Afrikaans. But it was very interesting that he said Tony Brown also felt that they played way too much rugby. And have a listen.
Ja, en de Tony was Afrikaans, nee. Ja, Tony was 100% in die coaches box. Ons kick to rucks is hopeloos te min. Tony was all over, yes boys, ons overplay. So, dis definitief nie Tony se skuld dat ons so overplay het nie. Het was meer, die ouens het die hele tyd geleenthede aangesien, jy weet, so, Australië is nie 'n harde defensive system nie, so jy voel die hele tyd iets is aan, en dan skiet hy ou die lyn uit, en so hy Lee onderskep, en dan ander Estrys is reg deur, dan moet hy offload gee, en dan gaan skoor hulle van binne hulle kwartlyn af, jy weet, dis klaar 14 punte. So, nee, ek dink jy's glad nie verkeerd om te sê, ons het ge-overplay nie, maar Tony in die coaches box het gesê, nee, ja, ons overplay totaal.
That being said, obviously there's going to be a lot of more analysis, a lot of words, a lot of things said, and the Boks know that they're going to take a bit of flack this week, because they certainly the loss wasn't expected. So, but we expect a response from them this week. But just thought that was an interesting point to put out of the press conference. And as I say, we only allow you to record a certain part of the press conference on video. So these are part of the audio files. And I'll carry on doing these as we go on in the Rugby Championship and wherever we can, to try and give you some more insight from what we also see in here that's away from the public version of what we're allowed to record. But anyway, let me know what you think. If you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button and put the thumbs up and the likes and all that sort of stuff. Just that it helps the channel grow a bit. And and then leave your comments. I'd love to see what you say about this what Rassie said about Tony Ball. Be really interesting. Anyway, that's it. Thanks. I'll chat to you again soon. But thanks for watching. Cheers.